At first the house looked abandoned, but the moment the Wilson family stepped inside, something inside the darkness noticed them. Every night at exactly midnight a voice whispered through the halls, "Leave." Then the knocking started. 3 loud bangs from upstairs. A little girl appeared in the hallway with hollow black eyes, and a smile that didn't look human. The doors locked by themselves. The lights went out, and something massive began crawling inside the walls of the house. But the terrifying truth was far worse than ghosts, because the spirits inside weren't trying to hurt the family. They were trying to warn them. The rain started just as the Wilson family turned onto the narrow forest road. Their car headlights cut through the fog, revealing an old two-story house standing alone at the edge of the woods. "Are you sure this is the place?" Emma asked nervously from the back seat. Her father, Daniel, checked the address on his phone. "Yeah, this is it." The house looked abandoned. Its wooden walls were faded, the windows dusty, and the porch creaked in the wind like it was breathing. But they had no choice. After Daniel lost his job, they needed somewhere cheap to stay for a few months. The owner had rented them the house for almost nothing. "That's weird," Daniel muttered. "What?" his wife Sarah asked. The owner said he'd leave the key under the mat, but the door's already open. A cold gust of wind slipped out from inside the dark hallway. Emma hugged herself. "I don't like this place. It's just old," Sarah said, forcing a smile. They carried their bags inside. The house smelled of damp wood and something else, something rotten. Every step echoed loudly. The living room contained old furniture covered in white sheets. A grandfather clock stood silently in the corner. Tick. The clock suddenly started moving by itself. Tick, tick. Sarah jumped. "I thought that thing was broken." Daniel laughed nervously. "Probably just stuck." But Emma noticed something strange. Above the fireplace hung an old family portrait. The people in the painting looked terrified, as if they were trying to warn anyone who entered the house. That night, the storm grew worse. Rain slammed against the windows while thunder shook the walls. At around midnight, Emma woke up to a soft whisper. "Leave." She sat up quickly. The room was dark except for flashes of lightning outside. "Mom," she whispered. No answer. Again. "Leave this house." The voice sounded weak, almost sad. Emma grabbed her flashlight and stepped into the hallway. The floor creaked beneath her feet. At the end of the corridor stood a tall shadow, completely still. Emma froze. Another flash of lightning lit the hallway, and the figure vanished. She ran downstairs. Her parents were awake in the kitchen. "You heard it too?" Sarah asked, pale-faced. Daniel nodded slowly. "I thought someone was outside." Then came 3 loud knocks from upstairs. Bang, bang, bang. The family stared at the ceiling. Emma whispered, "There's someone in this house." Daniel grabbed a flashlight and walked upstairs despite Sarah begging him not to. The hallway was empty, but the last door at the end of the corridor was slowly swinging open. Creak. Daniel stepped closer. Inside was a tiny bedroom filled with old toys covered in dust. In the middle of the room sat a little wooden chair facing the wall. Then the chair slowly turned around by itself. On it sat a little girl. Her pale face was cracked like broken porcelain. Dark hollow eyes stared directly at Daniel. "Dad!" Emma screamed from downstairs. Daniel turned for 1 second. When he looked back, the girl was gone. But written on the wall behind the chair were the words, "Get out." Suddenly the door slammed shut. Bang! Daniel pulled at the handle desperately. The lights began flickering. From behind him came a whisper, "You shouldn't be here." Daniel slowly turned around. The little girl stood inches away from him. Her mouth twisted unnaturally wide. Then every toy in the room started moving. Toy drums beating by themselves. Dolls turning their heads. Tiny laughter echoing from nowhere. Daniel screamed and finally forced the door open before running downstairs. "We're leaving now," he shouted. But the front door wouldn't open. The handle refused to move. The temperature dropped instantly. Their breath became visible. Then the grandfather clock started ringing loudly. Dong, dong, dong. All the lights went out. In the darkness, they heard footsteps circling them. Slow, heavy, not human. Emma started crying. "Please, what do you want from us?" Silence. Then a deep voice filled the room. "We tried to warn them too." A ghostly figure slowly appeared near the staircase. It was an old woman dressed in black. Unlike the little girl, she didn't look angry. She looked terrified. "There are darker things in this house," the spirit whispered. Sarah tremblingly asked, "Who are you?" "I lived here many years ago," the woman said. My family ignored the warnings, and the house took them. The walls suddenly began shaking violently. Upstairs, something huge crawled across the ceiling. Thump, thump, thump. The old woman looked toward the darkness in fear. You must leave before it wakes completely. A horrifying growl echoed through the house. The windows cracked. The little girl appeared again at the top of the stairs, staring downward with black tears running from her eyes. Go, she screamed. The front door suddenly unlocked by itself. Daniel didn't wait another second. The family grabbed each other and ran outside into the storm. As they reached the car, Emma looked back at the house. In the upstairs window stood dozens of shadowy figures watching them silently. And behind them, something much larger moved in the darkness. Follow for more stories.